In the 1980s, cocaine was supreme, and Pablo Escobar was the king. He sold over $400 million worth every week during his prime. Could his kingdom full of sex, drugs, and salsa ever crumble? And how could he ever be stopped? This is True Crimecast.
This is True Crimecast. Jamie and John here on a very rainy day. I feel like rainy days are great for listening to crime stories.
Well, that's true. It's also great for recording them. I just hope the weather wherever you are is sunny and 70. Kind of like Colombia, South America.
Yeah.
No, it's really hot down there, and there's a lot of cocaine. We're going to be talking about that later. What are we doing now?
I guess we're preparing to talk about cocaine. John, we have so many people that have joined our Patreon lately, and I just want to give all them a big thanks. We released a new episode last Thursday that was really strong in my opinion, and we have so many episodes over there. But a big thanks to Alyssa, a big long-time Patreon supporter, finally back on board. Alyssa, we're glad to have you back.
Good to have you back, Alyssa. I'm going to chime in there too on that one. We've known her for, years. So good to have you back.
It's been a long time. Big thank you to Nathaniel, who's going to get a signed autograph and a special shout out. John, why do you got to say to Nathaniel in Australia?
Good day, mate. No, I feel like you deserve more than that. Nathaniel, we're so glad to have you over on Patreon. I hope that you enjoy the content. Listen, the last few months over there has been pretty dark. There's also some lighthearted stuff. I think it's a healthy mixture of both. So I hope you enjoy it, and we're so glad to have you.
We also have some Australian cases coming up on this feed, so stay tuned for that. Big thanks to Guy, Faye, Michael, who all came in at the $3 level to get those episodes each and every month. Dana joined and took advantage of the discount to pay for a full year. So she's going to go ahead and not have to pay us again for 12 months to get access to our Patreon content. And last, but certainly not least, thanks to Britt for joining at the $3 level as well. We appreciate all of your support. We're at an all-time high for Patreon supporters. We've teased for years, if we get 200, we're going to come visit somebody. We're getting closer.
We're getting there, almost 3/4 of the way, if my math serves me well. So, guys, thank you all so much. Dana, I'm going to give you a special shout-out. Girls from Jellicoe, where I'm from. So, Dana, good to have you on here. I've known you forever. Glad to have you on here.
Good. Awesome. Always good to have people from the hometowns that understand what we're talking about and understand our accents, which are key for today's case. We're talking about Pablo Escobar. So there's obviously going to be a lot of stuff that we struggle with pronunciation wise, so bear with us.
As some of the reviews have pointed out lately, my English sucks, so Lord knows my Spanish isn't going to be much better. Give me patience. If you want to write a review about my language, just send me an email. I mean, you ain't telling me something I don't already know.
Just because he can't talk doesn't mean he can't read, right?
Well,
Here
we go.
On December 1st of 1949, in the city of Rio Negro, Colombia, a middle-aged couple, which is key here, a middle-aged couple welcomed the birth of their third child. Although that couple had a normal, healthy, middle-class lifestyle and family home, working as a farmer and a school teacher, their son would grow up to become one of the most notorious and feared names in the illegal drug world. And I think that's super interesting, John, that he didn't come from poverty. Pablo Escobar didn't get in the drug game to get out of a bad situation or because he was exposed to that, to being a low-income individual. He chose to be a criminal.
By the time he was in his early teen years, Pablo Escobar had already earned a reputation in the nearby city of Medellin. He was engaging in some petty crimes that foreshadowed his criminal and violent future in the organized crime and narcotic scenes. As a teen, he would break into local cemeteries under the cover of night to steal tombstones made of expensive materials like granite or marble. Gotta say, in the few years that we've been doing this, never heard of anybody stealing tombstones.
Yeah, we've seen grave robbers taking valuables from the bodies, but this is a new one for me.
He made a pretty decent amount of money by reselling this stone to local stonemasons who would grind up like the inscriptions and then resell them. So dude had like a very enterprising mind at an early age, right?
It's got to be a very niche market. You got to find stonemasons that are shady.
Although he was making a pretty decent income as a high school teenager, doing this and other small-time criminal stuff, young Pablo Escobar quickly expanded his services to forgery. For a price, he would produce fake diplomas for paying customers, which is how your boy got his high school diploma.
Thank you, Pablo Escobar.
No, actually, that reminds me, there's a case from my hometown of Jellicoe where a guy forged a college degree in order to eventually become a principal at a school. We covered that case over on True Crimecast years and years ago.
Yeah, well, there's also a case of a basketball coach that got hired to coach. His name was Steve Masiello. And when they did the check for him to coach the team, they found out that he didn't really graduate from the University of Kentucky.
Nice. Now, of course, these things were just the stepping stone for things that were to come. Escobar would eventually move on to some more serious crimes, including, and I love this one, selling fake lotto tickets. That's pretty impressive.
That is. I mean, you're never going to win. What if they did hit? I mean, they would obviously show up and see that they were forged and I'll give them the money, but
yeah,
that's really messing with somebody.
Yeah. He also did some auto theft and muggings. So he, this at first it was just stuff that would help make him money. And the only thing that were hurting people were their loss of money. But now he's turning into some violent crimes too. By the time he was in his early 20s, Escobar had fallen in with some more seasoned criminal types in Colombia, and under their influence, he carried out some of the most daring schemes to date. Now, this would be one of the biggest things that come to my mind is kidnapping a wealthy businessman for ransom. The plot worked, and Escobar supposedly earned $100,000 for his role. After witnessing the huge sums of money that could be earned for just a little bit of work or skill in the impoverished Colombia, Escobar set an ambitious goal. He wanted to rise through the organized crime ranks